Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're gonna do Babe, issue number 1 of 4 by Dark Horse Comics. It's made by John Byrne, and yeah, this if you can read this, it's John Byrne did also a little bit the same with She-Hulk. When there's some controversial quote unquote cover, and then stuff like this is happening. I like that. So what is this? I have no clue. Let's go in. So we are meeting with this guy, and those movies when people talk to themselves, and in their mind they say, "Well, it's a rainy night, and I was driving my car on the highway, and the moon is glowing." Something like that. That is what you see here, and then it seems that he is some kind of a, I don't know, agent, that failed to, how do you say, make a deal for some company or something, and he is also a little bit, angry that he couldn't, you know, um, take a girl home, if you know what I mean. And then suddenly this is happening. So there's a girl on the road, and she's naked, and he's a little bit of a self-interested guy, and well, sort of. He says, "Excuse me, babe. If you're trying to commit suicide, would you mind doing it on the hood of someone else's car?" That's pretty cool. I also like, the rain ripples on the concrete here. It's really very well done. So he talks to her, but there's no response. And he says, "Hey, hello, is someone there?" And he feels a little bit, well, maybe guilty or something. So he takes her to somewhere, well, safe. And so he drives her to the police department. Although normally he would never do that because he's not a big fan of the gendarmes, or the gendarmes in French. So he drops her off, and but then the cops say, "Hey, Mr. Rowan, you can't simply leave her here." "Why not? I don't want her. I filled out all the forms. What more can I do?" "Provide us with a name for her, for one thing, and a home address." "Look, it's not really that hard, is it? I don't know her name, I don't know her address, and I would have taken her there. Um, I'm that civil, at least. I brought her here for you Sherlocks can work out the little forensic whatnots and find out what vital statics for yourself. Now I'm out of here. Take care of you, babe. It's been, it's been just a hoot." And so he leaves. And then the police says, "Hey, what's your name?" And she says, "Babe." So Ralph Rowan here, theatrical agent, is crashing, and then his secretary comes in. "Hey, what are you doing here? Did you drink again? And what's happening?" So he's a little bit pissed, and he refreshes himself with water, or how do you call it? And then he gets the paper, and I love the dialogue. It says, "War, pestilence, famine, disaster, whoever invents this stuff should get a new idea." But then he sees something, and he runs off, and he says, "You stole her." And I don't know what he means with that, but we're gonna find out. But read this. Ah, I laughed so hard. I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm gonna pick this up. I don't have the next man. I tried to get the floppies. If not, then the trades. But yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that, definitely. By the way, this is a great book too. Jim Silk is a really good, cool-looking artist. Reminds. Wait a minute. Rascals in Paradise doesn't remind me of that Terry Moore comic with the same logo as. Is that on purpose? Doesn't matter. Anyway, so his secretary then looks into the papers. Gideon Longshadow reclaims missing protege from police station. But, well, Ralph says, "Yeah, no, that's not. I found her, and she's mine." So he goes to this, I don't know, what is this, Disneyland? His estate, his movie filmmaking studio thingy? I don't know. So he goes up the gate. What is this, by the way? Why is this here in the middle of the road? Anyway, so he pushed the button. He says, "Yes, tell your master Ralph Rowan is here." So, and then we switch to Ralph Rowan, and I must say, Frank John Byrne is very good with creating eccentric, real, weird-looking characters, and this is no exception. So he stands out immediately. So he says to whatever, I don't know, to his people that work for him, says, send him away. I don't want to do anything with him. I have enough of his eccentrics. And then he asks some questions about Babe, and these bootlickers are saying, well, she's blank, she doesn't know where she's come from, and he's very pleased with that, because he says, excellent. It has long been my cherished dream to find a tabula rasa, a true blank slate upon which I could write whatever I might choose. Okay, cool. Not sure what they want with her. I don't know, make her into a star or a play, or I have no clue. Anyway, so Ralph is doesn't take no for an answer, so he climbs over the fence, and he watches, where she is, and finds her, and he says, "Hey, babe, can you open this window? It's locked." But then something is happening here, and she's very happy to see him, and then this is happening. I thought, oh wow, we're going to do this, and he says he's stunned for a second, and he says, "Hey, let's get out of here." So they're running off, and he's not happy, and he says, "Hey, I parked my car on the other side of the fence," and then she does this. I believe John Byrne is doing the She-Hulk thing, tall, long, beautiful, strong, She has all the ingredients. She has all the ingredients, and it looks great. John Byrne's art is fantastic. Look at this, man. All these small details, with the concrete and the textures on that concrete and this misty or dust stuff. Modern artists would go over, with some kind of a Photoshop element and just scratch, 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 scratch. That'll do. That's what modern comics are today. Not unlike comics from the 90s, like this. Sorry, I'm really a sore throat today. So excuse me. Anyway, so they are taking a car, and then the cops say, well, they're gone. And they are going to a motel. Now, I'm not sure why they are not going to his... his office or whatever. But then he gets a call from his secretary, and later, but he tries to talk with Babe, and he needs to find a way to convince everyone that he is the one that found her, and that he is gonna claim her. How does that work, by the way? But Babe can only say Babe until this particular part. So he says, I just wish you had more extensive mode of speech. This one word at all time routine isn't going to be much more of a help when I have to prove I have first claim to you. And then she says, no, but that would be difficult to prove anyway. It's not like I'm a piece of furniture you found on the roadside. He says, what? Do it again. Say something else. And then she's going to the Babe mode again. Seems that's, I don't know, maybe she has some kind of amnesia, or parts of the brain that's getting activated and then it's getting shut off. Well, she's now some kind of an innocent girl again looking here. And then you can see her mood and the way she talks and her facial expressions. And now she is being, this innocent little damsel who is not in distress. Anyway, his secretary, he calls his secretary, and then she says, well, the place is trashed by that Gideon Long Shadow guy, looking for that girl. And so he says to her, hey, come over here. We are at the motel, and you're going to beat the person that I claim. So they're getting introduced to each other. And but why am I forgetting his name? Is it Jake? I'm so stupid. What? Just give me a second. Ralph. Ralph says, hey, look what she can do. So she gives her this phone book, and instead of, ripping it apart, she does this. But then she found a name and an address. So they're going there because it seems important. And then somebody says, no, I'm sorry, I've never seen her before. So this is some kind of a guy that lost his daughter in a plane crash. And there was, I don't know, 55 people on board and they are missing. But Ralph says, well, it's still very strange. I mean, Babe turns on the beach the same night a plane crashes with your daughter on board. And then when I hand her a phone book, she flips almost instinctively to your name and number. This is Carolyn. And he shows the photo of his daughter. And yeah. So this guy breaks out in tears. And, well, they're going to go because, well, they cannot do much for this guy anymore. And they go shopping for reasons. Because Ralph says, we need to make her into a star. And she says, but his secretary says, well, I don't approve, Ralph. This is exploitation. As opposed to which part of the show business that isn't? Exposing modern day, things that's going on in Hollywood with all the grooming and sexualization and exploitation and stuff. He says, look, Sylvia, I waited 15 years for a break like this. She walked up to me because it was my turn. But then Sylvia says, hey, listen, we're going to make her into a star, but not like this. Then she, does this. And says, well, it looks way more classier. And but then Ralph calls somebody in the business that, owes him a favor. And this guy's a presentator or something. And what's this? So good, I hit myself. What's that? Where is that coming from? Anyway, so he introduced to the world on television that he found a new star and it's called Babe. And then he looks strangely because that's not Babe. That's the secretary girl. And then the secretary girl says, well, no, I'm not Babe. She is. She is the real star. And yeah, she's an instant hit. And everybody loves her and likes her. And Ralph is over the moon. He is so happy. He says, hey, Babe, stick with me. I'm going to put you into orbit. And look at the face of Babe and the rest. So, yeah, they're having a great time. But then we go into orbit. And there's a spaceship with aliens. And the alien says, hey, we found a target. We must secure possession of this female before the fusion destabilizes. And that's the end of the book for now. So we have some aliens and science fiction stuff in here. I like that. Not sure where this is going, but it's pretty cool. I like it. Guys, let me know what you think about this comic. Leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel, leave a like, and all the jazz. See you next time. Bye-bye.